A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News with me, Sam Kalisa. And as we begin this night's edition, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame on Friday received Dr. Lemogang Kwape, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Botswana, and his delegation. Rwanda and Botswana have signed an agreement to facilitate investment between them, and investors from both countries had been meeting here in Kigali to discuss investment opportunities that are available. The First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, has reminded Miss Rwanda contestants who participated in different years that the country is relying on them for its development as well as their personal growth, and that the choices they make should reflect that. We have the report with Precious Chidezi.
This was part of the message that the First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, communicated to the ladies that have participated in the competition over the years, most of whom either won or were runners-up. She started by appreciating the work that they have done that has had a positive impact on the Rwandan society and assured them that the country supports their efforts. The First Lady also emphasized that they should value what they're doing and that the country expects a lot from them. Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame reminded the former contestants that they hold the key to becoming what they choose to be and that they bear heavy responsibilities as the country's children. Aside from Miss Rwanda participants, the meeting was also attended by some of the most influential women in the country, who also urged the ladies to work hard because their country loves them and values what they do, and it will keep on providing equal opportunities to them all. Speaking on behalf of her colleagues, Miss Rwanda 2022 winner Divine Shuti Muheto was appreciative of the First Lady's remarks, and she said she and the others would follow her advice. She said it is of value to them and promised that there would be changes in how they handle themselves to aid their development and represent the country accordingly. Precious Chidezi, RTV News.
On Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente attended the state funeral of former Kenyan President Mwai Kibaki on behalf of President Paul Kagame. Thousands of Kenyans turned out to bid farewell to their former head of state, and the ceremony was also attended by many leaders from the region and beyond.
The state funeral held for His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, the third President of Kenya, was attended by multitudes at Nyayo National Stadium and included dignitaries from far and wide. In his address, the current President of Kenya noted on the achievements of his predecessor.
He finished the last mile of our founding vision as a nation, but he did not stop there. He helped us lay the foundation upon which future generations shall also build. But to this, I must add one more thing. President Kibaki was by all means a modest man and did not believe in loud shouting. When the limelight was shone on him, he tended to coy and hide. And his desire to contribute to transform our country, Kenya, in his quiet and secluded space with no one watching is what makes him a legend and a man of purpose. Fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to celebrate the man lying before us using three frames: Kibaki the man, Kibaki the leader, and Kibaki the visionary.
His Excellency Mwai Kibaki died on Friday last week at the age of 90 and served as Kenya's president from December 2002 to April 2013. He will be buried on Saturday at his rural home in Nyeri County, central Kenya.
Indeed, strength to our Kenyan brothers and sisters, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. And as we move ahead, media practitioners have been urged to help the government educate the public to have a role in government programs meant to boost their social welfare and the country's development in general. We do have the report with Martina Avera.
Manager and owners of different media houses point out that they understand the role of the media in educating the public to take part in activities and programs meant to boost their well-being. Media programs are cross-cutting. They concern policymakers and citizens at the same time so that they can play a role in programs directed to them. Lecturers in media studies say that in order to achieve citizens' participation in government programs, it is necessary to have professional journalists and educators.
You cannot teach without a hint on what's going on in the media industry. The partnership between we teachers and media practitioners is very important because even when we are to improve or upgrade our courses, the Higher Education Council asks for recommendation from those in the media industry.
The Minister of Local Government, Gatabazi Jean-Marie Vianney, says that the responsibilities of the media include educating the people. He appreciates the role of the media in educating the public on the role they should play and finding solutions to their problems and developing themselves.
The role of the media is important in reminding citizens that, however much there are government programs meant to help them, they have a role to play, taking their children to school, building restrooms in their homes, and other social and basic responsibilities.
Minister Gatabazi also called on the media to play a major role in the preparation and during the Chogam summit scheduled for June in Rwanda.
We are urging the media to show the uniqueness of Rwanda in their broadcasts during the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. You should also start working with international media houses in portraying a good image of our country, because the whole world will be waiting to see what our country has to offer. So media practitioners should work professionally to show investment opportunities in our country and the beauty of our country in general.
According to the 2021 Rwanda Media Barometer, the role of the media in educating citizens and encouraging them to play a role in government policies and programs was at 98.9% rate. Martina Ebera, RTV News.
Thank you, Martina, for the report. Private sector practitioners in Rwanda and Botswana have agreed to meet more frequently to get enough information on investment opportunities as both countries need to boost their economies. On the other hand, investment opportunities and the political will is expected to make the partnership even more productive. We don't have more. Botswana investment companies have met with some of Rwanda's private sector representatives with the aim of exchanging information on areas of investment between the two countries. Kelotsiste Olebile, the Director General of the Botswana Investment and Trade Agency, points out that Rwandan and Botswana investors need each other in order to boost their countries' economies, since investment opportunities are available on both sides.
Today we've brought 33 companies from Botswana that are looking at exploring investment and trade opportunities in Rwanda. And we have a commitment that at some point we will get a return visit by the Rwandan companies back to Botswana to also see the lay of the land. So it's very exciting, the opportunity of strength incubated through our International Financial Services Center, which you are also starting in Rwanda. And it is in this drive that we can create true African multinationals. And we do believe that through this collaboration, we will see more grow into that level from Botswana and from Rwanda.
The Botswana economy is highly based on tourism and mining, with a population of 2.3 million people with a total land area of 582,000 square kilometers. Jean-Françoise Mubirigi, the Vice President of the Private Sector Federation, says that Botswana has many investment opportunities that modern private sector practitioners should make productive.
They are looking at venturing into industrial sector, particularly into agro-processing, developmental ICT services, supporting innovation projects in Rwanda, and financial services.
Private sector practitioners on both sides also signed cooperation agreements covering different fields, including elimination of obstacles that hinder trade and investment, something the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Vincent Biruta, said will bring about desired results since there is political will on both sides.
Channeled through this strong mutual political will, yesterday we witnessed the first joint permanent commission on cooperation between Rwanda and Botswana. Let us set result-oriented implementation plans of what we have jointly discussed, agreed, and signed upon. 2, let us work together towards our mutual goals with a sense of urgency.
This is the first time such a meeting has been held between the Rwandan and Botswana private sector practitioners. Expanding investment and trade between African countries is one of the factors that will help the continent grow and increase industrial output so as to support the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area agreements that looks to satisfy the population of over 1.2 billion people on the continent. And still on international cooperation matters, Rwanda and the Central African Republic have signed a memorandum of understanding that will facilitate the promotion of homegrown solutions to deal with the challenges both countries face and encourage more cooperation. We do have the report with Serge Nore.
The Memorandum of Understanding covers a number of sectors and will seek to encourage both sides to look to themselves and each other when tackling important national issues.
This Memorandum of Understanding is a very important one. It's a very important instrument in the implementation of South-South cooperation. We know that as African countries, we can learn from each other. It is much easier to learn from our sisters and brothers in other African countries, as we share many things like our values, our environment, and it's much easier to develop together strategies and policies that are easily applicable and also having an impact on long term. On the other hand, we signed also with UNDP in the Central African Republic, which is also important, coming in and making it a triangular cooperation with the partners supporting our bilateral cooperation.
African countries are progressively realizing that the solutions to the problems the continent faces must come from Africans themselves.
Nous avons intérêt à marcher ensemble.
We stand to benefit from working together to reduce poverty levels. Why? Because poverty gives the opportunity for people with bad ideologies to poison a country's youth into rebellion, and when such things occur near Rwanda's borders or further away, the repercussions eventually find their way into the country itself. Those people may cause insecurity, which is why all Africans must live decently, and the responsibility of fighting poverty belongs to all Africans.
Chacun là où il est, il puisse vivre décemment, et donc il faudrait que cette lutte contre la pauvreté soit considérée comme une lutte pour tous les Africains.
Indeed, extensive cooperation between African countries presents benefits on many fronts.
This is an agreement that aims at promoting digitalization, and we have a delegation that is led by a minister from the Central African Republic that came in Rwanda with a delegation to learn from the experience of Rwanda. And this is in the context of the South-South cooperation, because we have a strong belief that we don't have to go abroad in other continents to look for solutions for challenges that we have in Africa. So this is one of the ways to cement that belief that we can find solutions to our challenges on the continent. So this is the spirit in which this agreement had been signed, and this is in addition to many other agreements between Rwanda and Central African Republic. As you remember, there was a state visit in 2020, in August of 2020, by the President of Central African Republic, Professor Archange Touadéra, who was received by his counterpart, President Paul Kagame. And during that visit, there was a signing of a number of agreements, and this is another agreement that proves the excellent bilateral relationship that exists between Rwanda and the Central African Republic.
The United Nations Development Programme in the Central African Republic will support the implementation of the agreement.
Yeah, we are supporting this agreement because UNDP believe in the acceleration of sustainable development goals. That's one. Secondly, Rwanda has gone through the same issue that the Central African Republic is going today. Rwanda is far advanced. Rwanda had the vision. Rwanda have transformed the daily life of its citizens through digitalization. Rwanda can offer the Irembo platform, the Rwanda Online, the e-governance. So we came here with the two ministers from the Central African Republic to learn as quick as possible. It's a system that Rwanda have developed because it has a vision. It's a system that can be replicated to the Central African Republic context. And Rwanda is just 2 hours flight. They can come here, learn, and UNDP is very happy to accompany that process. And that's the reason why we are here to sign a MOU between the Rwanda Cooperation Initiative, the government of Rwanda, and the Republic of Central Africa. This is the objective of our presence here.
Rwanda and the Central African Republic have strong bilateral ties that encompass security, trade, and more.
Moving ahead to other matters, CARE International has completed its 2-year community development project aimed at helping people to access financial services, and they have assisted to form groups and participate in the long-term savings scheme, Ejo Heza.
Mukandagano Nosiata is one of the people who have benefited from this project, and she noted that this has contributed towards her well-being, and she encourages other people, mostly her fellow women, to develop the courage of saving.
It
has promoted women and families. It has helped us improve our standards of living. We are now able to pay mutual sante. We can pay school fees for our children. We are able to live well in our day-to-day life. I rear chicken, and I work with Ozima Chicken Limited, where I get chicks and I grow them in a month and 15 days. Then after I said to people, that means there is no problem when it comes to balanced diet. These sorts of projects help Rwandans in developing a saving culture through the formation of saving groups, which help them to improve their standards of living, as is explained by the CARE organization Head of Program Implementation and Management, Geoffrey Kaijuka.
We have more Rwandans actually paying or contributing their mutuelle de santé contributions on time. We have over 96% of the Rwandans in the groups doing that. They are contributing to the new interesting government program called Ejo Heza, long-term saving scheme, which actually is a good thing.
Augustine Naganda from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning noted that this project helped in identification of people who are financially excluded, and after their identification were put in saving groups where they were linked to the financial institutions, which helped them to develop, hence reducing of the government burden in supporting them.
On the side of government, can say that as those people realize improvement in the economic sector, then they reduce the burden to government of supporting those people, especially in VUP. So as the lives of those people improve, then those who are beneficiaries of government support reduce and they no longer become a burden to government.
During the 2 years the project has been operational, 17,088 saving groups were formed, with the saving accumulation of slightly more than 25.3 billion Rwandan francs. Betty Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
Commemoration activities have been held in Rwanda district to remember the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, and a memorial site that is a final resting place of more than 9,000 Tutsi that was renovated by the district with the support of Christoph Ventures was inaugurated.
The commemoration activities took place in Muhazi sector in the eastern province, and the way the genocide memorial site was renovated was commended. We are very happy about this. We had previously attempted to renovate it ourselves, especially the people of the sector of Muhazi, but progress was slow. We were therefore fortunate for the help that enabled the memorial to be renovated this way. Executives at the company Crystal Ventures that supported the renovation of the memorial noted on the significance of the initiative.
Drawing from the profits from the business activities, we found it very important to also create a corporate social responsibility institution, which is called Crystal Connect, to be able to give back to the community and contribute to the well-being of the citizens. So it is in this framework that we partnered with the Rwanda district to upgrade this memorial site, and for two reasons. The first one being that an upgraded memorial site like this is a way of, paying respect to the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi, but also it's another strong opportunity to preserve, the history of what happened in 1994 genocide, so that it doesn't happen again. So the inauguration of this memorial site, Muhazi Memorial Site, is in that framework of Crystal Ventures through Crystal Connect, giving back to the community, among many other activities that we shall be undertaking.
The Muhazi Genocide Memorial Site is the final resting place of 9,023 victims of the genocide against the Tutsi.
On Friday, various companies participated in events to mark the 28th commemoration of the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi, and their employees and some of the survivors who were working in those companies back then noted that plans to execute the genocide had become evident even before it was implemented in 1994. Betty Mutoni continues.
While commemorating genocide against Tutsi, Red Cross gave 8 houses and other necessities like rice, soap, and bed covers to 8 families of genocide survivors in Dela sector, located in Gasabo district. People who were given houses noted that it was hard for them to rent before getting their own houses. I'm very happy whether I fall sick or even die, as long as I'm in my house. I'm happy that no one stresses me. This is nice. It is even better to receive them during this hard time of commemorating for our beloved ones. We are not even surprised by the rain, because this is how it was during genocide. Apart from Red Cross, other companies also commemorated for their employees who were killed during genocide against Tutsi. That was Caisse Sociale du Rwanda, now known as RSSB, and also Rwanda and Botswana Association. Some of the survivors stressed out that the persecution of Tutsi before genocide against Tutsi and how they survived, but they are happy that the persecutors of genocide were brought to justice.
Intambara iteye ku itariki ya mbere z'ukwa 10 muri 1990.
On 1st October 1994, my husband, my in-law and I were imprisoned for 6 months and were set free by the signing agreement known as SERE. The first thing that made me happy is that genocide is accepted, that it really occurred.
Rwemeye ko umuntu yakoze genocide.
Twabonaga yuko rwose hari umwuka.
It was obvious that something bad might occur, but no one had an idea of what might happen until genocide occurred. The divisionism that was there then is no more, and no one is worried about being harassed by any group of people.
The executive secretary of Eboka, Naftara Hishache, noted that it is so exciting the way Rwanda is developing so fast after the occurrence of genocide against Tutsi.
It wasn't just killing, but inflicting as much pain as possible. Had killings been the only objective, adding nails sticking out of traditional weapons would have not been necessary. I thank the RPF in Wotanyi for stopping the genocide.
Ivuka continues to request staff at all levels in different institutions to fight against all the genocide ideologies to make sure that what happened never happens again. Betty Mutoni, RTV News.
On behalf of the entire news production team, many thanks for being with us. My name stays Sam Kalisa. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, but responsibly. See you and have a good night.